Ariadne Termes. She is unavailable today, day to day. But she had started every game this season. Instead, Georgia Tech goes with Kayla Blackshear, the senior, for her second start of the year. She had a monster game against the Owls last year, though 5 seconds in, Georgia Tech coughs it up. So we take a look at the Rice starting lineup, 7-4, coming off an 89-62 win last Friday versus Texas Southern. Rickard Ennis, Alexis, reigning AAC Rookie of the Week, Gooden and Ngulafak. As it looks like Smith got a piece of that three-point try and a loose ball foul against Rice.
And you have to talk about the play of Zoesha Smith the last 5 games. She has been really solid for Georgia Tech as a rebounder, and her scoring is starting to pick up. She's starting to get her rhythm and understanding this offense for Coach Fortner.
The foul was on Emily Klazak. She gets the start. Now Rickard, so the senior guard, collects her first foul. Georgia Tech shot almost 51% in that win at number 14, North Carolina. 23 points from Tony Morgan, a season high. As Dunn collects, jabs towards the baseline on Klazak, shot clock at 7. Blackshear has to create, drops it down to a cutting Smith. Around no good, grabs her own, but misses the stick back. And you're seeing sort of that hustle of Georgia Tech on the glass. They can't pull down the offensive rebound. An undersized team being even shorter today with not only Ariadne Termes out, but their 6'2 sophomore Deasia Thomas-Harris continuing to battle a stress fracture. She's out, but Nell Fortner told us, Fallon, this team has a hunger for the ball, and it reflects in their rebounding numbers. And Ngulafak double team, fans out. Jazzy Owens-Barnett takes it in deep, can't muscle it home. And a rebound loose under the basket. It'll stay with the Owls.
And you see already what Georgia Tech is trying to do with Ngulafak in the paint. They're doubling right away, and you saw what Tony Morgan did to try and just stop her from trying to score easily in the paint. But that's going to be an all-day type of situation for Georgia Tech. They're really going to have to double and defend hard to stop the inside presence that Rice brings.
And Ngulafak, 63.8% from the field this year. After she set a school record for the Owls, 69.7% last year. So clearly,
she can score.
She has been in a lull this season, only 63%. As it's circulated around to Klazak, trying to shed Noeto off the screen. Owens-Barnett lines it up, airballs the 3. Rice just 29% from 3, and Georgia Tech really locks down the arc hard. Opponent shooting 24% from 3. That's 17th in the nation in three-point defense. And here is the rest of that Georgia Tech lineup. And that backcourt consisting of Tony Morgan and Kira Dunn, both second-team All-ACC a year ago. Noeto was terrific in Georgia Tech's last home game with a season-high 13 points. Smith and Blackshear rounded out. And there's a second turnover on the Jackets.
Yeah, right now, neither team able to score to start this one, but you have to applaud the defense. Both teams are really hustling and trying to limit opportunities.
Azek trying to split a pair of defenders, comes up short. Morgan so good getting downhill with a crossover, floating in, and one, Tony Morgan. And that is Tony Morgan to a T.
That's a signature move, and she's so quick, great handle, and just drives it, double clutches, hangs, and gets the and one, and she knows it. The athleticism just to float, maintain her composure. That was a pretty looking shot right there.
Closing in on 1,000 points for her career, the junior from Tallahassee. A little bit heavy to complete the three-point play. Had 23 points on 8 of 11 shooting in that win in Chapel Hill, and Ngulafak running the floor. He swallowed up. Roped around Ennis for 3. That's good. Dominique Ennis leads Rice in three-pointers this year. Can't leave her alone. The junior puts the Owls ahead.
Yeah, you can't. She's going to look for that shot, and it looked pretty on release.
Here is Danny Carnegie, an early sub off Nell Fortner's bench. Smith pounding inside. And swatted out of bounds by Klazak as she jumped the gap. Georgia Tech to retain with 10 to shoot.
Yeah, and Smith just hesitated a little bit to make that pass on that backdoor cut. Should have released it sooner. Carnegie may have been able to get to it.
Carnegie having trouble inbounding. Finally feeds Morgan. Racks up a screen from Blackshear. Shot clock at 6. Morgan drops it down to a cutting Blackshear, but she misses the layup wide open.
And you can't miss those chippies. We've seen a few of those early for Georgia Tech. Smith missing a couple of chippies, and then Blackshear on that last one.
Catch and shoot rims off from Haley Adams. Rebound Blackshear. We had noted Caleb Blackshear, 21 points, 9 rebounds against Rice. Head coach Lindsay Edmonds said, we just couldn't stop her. As she muscles her way through, misses another one. Both of those layups came with the offhand.
Yeah.
But again, those are ones she's got to capitalize on.
They do.
Oh, what a catch in deep. The layup by Adams off the mark.
Oh, that's tough, but great job by Smith getting back to try and get a hand up and defend that well.
Teams combined 2 of 12 to begin this game. Dunn off the weave,
and that's
splitting
what she
2 defenders.
She has to do that. That was something that was key that in the last matchup last season, Georgia Tech didn't have Kara Dunn in that lineup, and she can be a dominant presence for Georgia Tech this afternoon with her penetration, ball handling skills, and ability to score.
There's a travel out high on Jazzy Owens-Barnett, the junior. As you look at Lindsay Edmonds, her 4th season overseeing the Owls program. What a run they had last year, winning 4 games in 4 days, captured the American Athletic Conference tournament as a 10 seed, and then in the first round in Baton Rouge, they gave LSU all they could handle. It was a 3-point game at halftime with single digits most of the 4th quarter.
But that just tells you how a season can change. Pick 10th or was 10th going into that tournament. They win the conference tournament and then have a good showing in the NCAA tournament. And it's just showing the type of program that's being built by Coach Edmonds. You know, she's surrounding her program with a great group of women who love to play together, and it's like a family atmosphere.
4 straight points, meanwhile, by Dunn. Foul off the ball on Zoesha Smith as she was grabbing on Ngulafag. And there won't be any sneaking up from the Owls this year with 7 of their top 8 scorers returning, but now can they stop the scoring touch of Kara Dunn?
I mean, she's getting it going. We saw the last play she had with the nice drive penetration layup, and once she gets going, she can score in bunches.
Luedo back in, replacing Smith. The lob in Ngulafag, double Tom. She steps into it as the pass smothered by Dunn.
And that was a great job.
And a foul on Ngulafag as well.
We have already talked about Kara Dunn's offense to start this one, but that double team on that play, she was a key reason, able to get the steal, making it difficult for Ngulafag to even try and make a play in the paint. And Georgia Tech gets the steal in the possession.
Without a 6'6" post in Termes and a 6'2" reserve forward in Thomas Harris, Georgia Tech is steering up at Rice this afternoon, particularly in Ngulafag. They are going to be very aggressive with those double teams.
Yeah, they have to be. She has a dominant presence inside.
Luedo trying to rifle one across the baseline. It was snapped out of the air by Adams.
And that was a good defensive rotation by Rice to get that steal.
Back down the shoot to Ngulafag. Saw the double, kicking out. The 3 by Flores is no good. Tap controlled by the Owls. And stripped away by Morgan. Team sliding forward. It's out of bounds, and last off of Carnegie stays with Rice.
And that's good hustle by both of these teams. You can see Rice and Georgia Tech, they're getting after it. Rice understands the opportunity this could bring if they can get a road victory against the number 17 team in the country.
A quad 1 win as well. Will certainly turn some heads in the American. Flores loose on the handle, rolls free to the Jackets. Now Luedo has Carnegie filling the lane. The pass across was tipped by Ennis. I think Luedo may have telegraphed that pass now, and Ngulafag leaking out for the lay-in to make it 6-5.
And that's a good job by Rice. And Ngulafag running down the court and being paid or rewarded for her effort with the lay-in.
Susie Ngulafag, a senior from Lilburn, Georgia, began a career at Samford. Dunn made 3 threes against North Carolina, comes up short in her first pull. Now Flores slashing her way in, sets up Ennis. A hand in her face from Blackshear after she drained a 3 earlier this quarter. Adams digging the shoulder in on Carnegie, can't finesse that in. Dunn leaking out, pass too far in front of him. Turnover is flaring up on the Yellow Jackets in this opening stretch, but Nell Fortner's team has the 6-5 lead as we've come to our first timeout. Hands are active early. A defensive-minded first 4 minutes here at McCamish. led by as many as 23 in the final minute of the third quarter. Tar Heels, to their credit, made it close late, but what an opening statement by Georgia Tech to begin ACC play.
I mean, it was, especially for a team that was picked preseason to finish 10th. This isn't the same season the same team that you saw a season ago, and they have had an incredible showing to start the season and perfect for going into the ACC conference play.
Now, like Kayla Blackshear, her first, team second. They also shut down Alyssa Ostby.
We
Only
talked
2
about that.
points, missed all 6 of her field goal attempts. Now she dished out 10 assists,
Yes.
but
I mean, she's a great player, utility player, can fill up a box score for UNC, and since Deja Kelly left, she is the face of that ball club, but Georgia Tech did an excellent job against her defensively.
and that is not a place where historically Tech has played well. Victoria Flores, the TCU transfer, on the reset, hits Fisher. Fisher from the baseline, little heavy. Rebound off the hands of the Owls. Georgia Tech basketball. First shot attempt by Malia Fisher, preseason first team American Conference, team high 12.7 points per game. Didn't debut until December 4th after she suffered a hand injury early in preseason practice, not a moment too soon. And she gets her long-awaited homecoming to the Atlanta area.
Right, but Coach Edmonds talked about her work in the offseason. You know, she thinks she is a really good player. She's worked on her game to improve, and it's showing this season so far.
What a steal by Chitchat Wright.
Big
Crashing
time.
into the bench. It leads to a 2-on-1, and Morgan soars in for the lay-in.
I mean, how she can do that floating layup is so solid because it's a tough shot to block and defend when she uses her athleticism.
Fisher finds Gooden streaking down the baseline, in the bucket by Trinity Gooden, the senior. Able to pick the locks of the Georgia Tech press to make it a 1-point game again. Here's a deep three, good by Chitchat Wright.
I think she has something to say today. And then the last showing against UNC only had 2 points. Not a great showing for the freshman, but she is picking it up this afternoon.
And
Fresh start.
Chitchat was actually scoreless across 15 minutes against the Tar Heels, her first scoreless game of the season. Just strolled right into her spot as Fisher dribbles it off her foot. A Rice turnover. But these are not your ordinary freshmen for Nell Fortner as we take a look at that bucket in transition by Wright.
I mean, these players have confidence, and that's big-time confidence to shoot a ball that deep. And she knows that, you know, Coach Fortner has given her the green light because she has been consistent this far besides the showing against UNC. But she's a freshman. You're going to go through those ups and downs, but I know Coach Fortner is happy to see what she's doing so far in this one.
This is essentially a 5-guard lineup. Here's another three from way downtown. That one from Carnegie is off the glass.
I think she was trying to challenge her teammate. If you could do it, I could do it too.
Found that hot spot. Now Georgia Tech without a couple of its post players, essentially rolling out a 5-guard look here. That's an illegal screen. And if that's on Ngulafak, that's a second foul on Susie Ngulafak.
And you saw Coach Edmonds look directly to the bench. That's 2. Have to get her out of there. Yeah, and Ngulafak didn't have her feet set and didn't have her positioning, and that's going to be an easy call for the ref to make.
Yeah, and Ngulafak can set some cinder block screens, but like you said, wasn't totally stationary. So that's a second foul for a player who's averaging 9 points and 5.5 rebounds a game. Carnegie trying to shrug off her defender, and a hand check foul on Gooden.
And Carnegie has a great handle as well, and that's been impressive for these Tech guards. You can see, you know, the ball handling skills and the ability to get a bucket on your own. Right now, Georgia Tech has 3 players that can do that, in Carnegie, in Dunn, and in Tony Morgan.
And also is the 5th foul of the quarter against the Owls, puts Georgia Tech in the bonus. Our Carnegie is 13 of 15 this year. Freshman from Mount Vernon, New York, rattles that one in and out, but played her high school ball up the road from Georgia Tech at Grayson High, where she was Georgia Miss Basketball. Her 22 points against North Carolina was a season high. It's all ACC freshman in points, 3-point percentage, 3-pointers per game, but comes up empty in that free throw trip and the loose ball foul on the Jackets.
Yeah, when you talk about these 2 freshmen, they don't play like freshmen, and it seems like they've been here before when you say the old adage of little kids who have a little adult to them, but they have some swagger that they're bringing to this Tech ball club, and they're not looking back. They want to win and win now.
Runner by Ennis off the mark, rebounded by Hayes. Able to reset right back out to Ennis. Can't get his second 3 of the quarter, but another offensive rebound by Hayes. Grinding away on Smith. And that is well-deserved for Shelby Hayes. Keeping at it.
That's big time. And to get that offensive board, you see that Rice is really making a concerted effort to get offensive rebounds and to attack Tech on the boards.
A Georgia Tech team that out-rebounded North Carolina plus 17 on Sunday, like you mentioned. Dunn off to right. Takes the give and go. Augustinaite has a hair trigger. Will pull up and knock it down. Rusne Augustinaite, the sophomore, to make it 13-9 Tech.
And that's good to see her getting it going early. Her shot starting to come. She's starting to get a better rhythm offensively.
Only played 2.5 minutes versus North Carolina, was scoreless as we've come under a minute in the first quarter. Flores dribbles into traffic, dribbled it off her foot. Now a tie-up with Carnegie. It'll be a jump ball. The possession keeps it with the Owls.
And these teams are getting after it. And you see Rice is hungry. They want to beat a ranked opponent. And, you know, they are a feisty group, but they're going to play hard and they're going to lay it on the floor, especially after loose balls and defensively.
They have conference play right around the corner. December 29th, they'll open up against preseason American favorite USF. So this is a teeth-sharpening game for conference play as well. The drive and pitch, and the three is heavy by Klazak. The rebound from Augustinaite.
Yeah, that's a big conference opener. That game will be aired on ESPN2 on the 29th, so I'm sure a lot of people will be watching.
That'll be a great showcase for this program. But a 12-second differential, shot clock and game clock. Georgia Tech by 4. Carnegie, the step-back three. Carnegie splashes it down.
I mean, she's such a fun player to watch because she has the rhythm. It's kind of like some old-school basketball that you'll see up in New York somewhere. And she is a hooper and loves to dribble, razzle-dazzle, and score.
She can get a bucket, but so can Fisher. Final seconds of the quarter, the first basket by Malia Fisher. Dunn hustles it across with one from a half court. Gets a rim, but not the basket. And for that reason and others, tied for preseason second in the conference standings. AAC play opening at the end of this month versus USF. It'll be really interesting to see this Rice team and what kind of noise they can make with 7 of their top scorers back from a team that reached the NCAA tournament last year.
Right, and a team that you could tell could fight, and they've just gotten better. I mean, they have a slew of upperclassmen on this roster, great leadership, and they know what they want to do this season. They're on a mission, and they want to win another conference championship.
Trying to perk up 5 of 17 field goal shooting. Flores dips behind the screen, misfires on the three. The run-out rebound to Augustinaite. Nell Fortner said she needs her team to press pace today. Feels like they have the speed edge against the Owls. And they only have the size advantage. We know that. Augustinaite with the step-back three, and that's pure.
Blowing the kiss and shooting the gun. That's her signature. And once she sees that ball hit the net, she is going to keep firing away, and it could be a great thing for Georgia Tech.
We joke the only reason Rusne Augustinaite shoots so many threes is he can't shoot fours, is there's a travel on the dribble drive by Flores, but she's got some swag.
She does.
To that shot.
She does, and you know, she has the ability to shoot the ball extremely well. Didn't start the season out shooting well, but this shot looks pure, and it's nothing but bottoms. Blowing the kiss with the gun, letting the crowd know it.
Wasn't that song by Major Lazer, Blow a Kiss, Fire a Gun? Yeah, I think that we found the inspiration for the sophomore. 19-11 Georgia Tech. As Carnegie comes out, Tony Morgan back in. Georgia Tech last year played at Tudor Fieldhouse. They trailed by 16 points in the second half, roared back to win. And a go-ahead basket by Kayla Blacksteer with 44 seconds left. They beat the Owls by 5. And Morgan stepped on the sideline, a turnover.
Yeah, that was good defense by Rice to force Tony Morgan to step out. Came with that double team quickly. And you see right here, when Smith makes that swing pass to Morgan, Rice comes full steam ahead with that double and forces Morgan to step out.
Gooden is hemmed in. Klazak to Fisher, trying to sidestep Morgan. Morgan, really physical, versatile defender. The skip pass to Klazak, that three doesn't fall. Rebound yanked away by Carnegie. Almost had it tied up with a foul instead. Whistled on Gooden. That's a second on Trinity Gooden.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Gooden. She was trying to get that tie up when Carnegie brought that basketball low. And you see it right here. Great job by Tony Morgan and Carnegie to get in for that defensive rebound. But Gooden gets tied up with Carnegie as she tries to sweep and gets the foul.
There could have been a case for a loose ball foul on Morgan.
Yeah.
This is this wide 1-3-1 zone that Rice is known for. Augustinaite from the corner. Another three down the well by Augustinaite. She's got every gesture in the playbook, and the Jackets have opened up the 11-point lead.
Well, you don't want to leave her open, especially when she starts to get hot. She's a streaky shooter, but right now she has it going with 2 threes already in this one.
Now streaking the right way now for the sophomore. Georgia Tech 4 of 8 from 3. Hayes posting on Blackshear. Throws over the double. Owens Barnett no good from the baseline. That ball tapped out last by Georgia Tech. Now when you have a 1-3-1 zone, you know, Fallon, sometimes those corners are unprotected.
They are, right there. And now the gun goes in the holster. Let's snap it back. She's firing it off, and she's feeling it right now. Georgia Tech needs to continue to find her, locate her in that offense because she has the hot hand.
Some of those celebrations, I feel like that Shaq meme. I owe you an apology. I was not familiar with your game.
I know, right?
And Augustinaite 8 points off the bench in 5 minutes for Nell Fortner. She had ceded some playing time this opening season to the freshman, but you shoot like that, you are a one-woman eruption off the bench. Fisher with the drive and kick. That is tipped away by Carnegie. Shot clock at 8.
And when you talk about the one-woman eruption, that's something that Georgia Tech hasn't had in the past, a bench that can score points. And right now, as a team, Georgia Tech scoring 36 bench points. Roosters is continuing the trend this afternoon.
36 bench points would be a month sometimes for Georgia Tech. The turnaround by Hayes, well contested. Rebound Morgan. Again, no Susie and Gulafak after she collected a second foul in that first quarter. Augustinaite, that's a heat check, and why not? And Rice wants timeout.
You know you got the hot streak, hot hand when the coach has to call a timeout.
And when you get the bounce on the corner three, Rusne Augustinaite 3 of 3 from 3, and the Yellow Jackets lead by 14. From Augustinaite, and all jumpers coming from beyond the arc. The sophomore from Lithuania has been lacing the nets, Fallon.
Yeah, when you have the hot hand, you got to let it fly. And she's showing the muscle with the hustle. Forces Rice to call a timeout for that break because she's just too hot with the hot hand on that 9-0 run for Georgia Tech. All threes by Rusne Augustinaite.
After logging just 2 minutes, 41 seconds on Sunday in Chapel Hill. No points, no field goal attempts, making up for lost time. Helping Tech to the 25-11 lead over Rice.
And sometimes that is what it can get you going and give you that energy. Not playing in a game or limited to just 2 minutes. Rusne is ready to play this afternoon.
Meanwhile, travel on Malia Fisher. Slow start for Malia Fisher in her homecoming, the senior from Decula, Georgia. No surprise that Tony Morgan gets the matchup on her in the man-to-man. That'll be a fun game within the game.
It will be. And even though Tony Morgan is a little bit shorter than Fisher is, she can defend just about anybody. Her athleticism allows her to do that.
Blitzing the point guard, and it leads to a turnover right. Trying to bounce through the double team, but misfired, and the turnover is Georgia Tech's 7th.
And that was a good changeup by Rice, coming at Wright with that double team and forcing her to turn the basketball over.
Right out to greet Rice's point guard, Owens Barnett at the timeline. And a shaking on Blackshear. That was from a tough angle, and Morgan climbs the ladder for the rebound. She can be a one-woman fast break. Bounces to right, three-pointer. Rattles in and out. About as far down as it can go before it hops out.
Right.
Here's a three in the corner, and air ball instead. Rice pulls down the board, and Haley Adams with a fadeaway.
You see Coach Edmonds looking at her as soon as she got that offensive rebound, like, don't take that shot.
Just kick it out.
And then she hits the turnaround J. I think Adams knew it better.
Well, the redshirt sophomore from San Antonio would probably retort, hey, I'm shooting 55%. I don't know what you've been grading on the film, Coach. Stops that 9-0 second quarter start. Augustinaite to the sidestep. The three. Yes, ma'am. Wow. It is a shooting gallery in the second quarter by Rusne Augustinaite.
Yeah, soon we might see the Jordan shrug if she keeps going at this pace.
And now a foul called out high on Carnegie.
And Carnegie thought she had the read on that one to sneak up and get that steal, and unfortunately gets called for the foul. But you see how aggressive Georgia Tech's trying to be defensively, really trying to limit Rice in their half-court sets and really stopping them from any type of penetration or any type of points in the paint.
I believe they called that a long two, meanwhile, for Augustinaite, but still, Rusne Augustinaite 5 of 5 from the field. And Hussman to fill the lane. Morgan on the fast break, gets the blow-by and draws the foul.
You know, she's just too quick. It's hard to stop her when she's going downhill like that.
Fisher, her first.
And you see Fisher trying to stay with her, but you just can't stay with Toni Morgan. She's just too quick, too athletic. And that's an easy call for the ref to make. Fisher just trying to catch up.
Junior from Tallahassee, Florida. And, you know, she doesn't have elite speed. I don't think you would categorize her among the fastest twitch guards in the ACC, but she's so hard to stop when she gets downhill. True power driver.
Right, and she has a lot of strength, upper body strength. I mean, she has great body control when she tries to take those shots, and it's hard even for the biggest post player to try to, you know, turn her off kilter or change up her shot. She'll be aggressive either drawing a foul or finishing at the rim.
She's been really hard at work in the offseason on her free throw shooting as she made a pair there, the foul on Augustinaite. But Morgan entered today an 81% foul shooter, just 68% last year, and helping Georgia Tech to the 30-13 lead.
But she understood that. I mean, as starting point guard for this squad, you've got to be able to knock down free throws because when the game is close, your team's going to look to you. And Coach Ford had talked about the leadership between Morgan and as well as Dunn this season. They wanted that leadership as freshmen. They didn't get it. Nice shot.
Nice take to the 10 by Dominique Anderson. Draws a second on Augustinaite, which might be the easiest way to cool off Rusne Augustinaite is get her in foul trouble.
That is a way. And you see this hard penetration by Ennis. She goes strong, nice floater, gets the and one. But just going back to those two juniors in Dunn and Morgan, their leadership this year is a key reason Georgia Tech has had this hot start.
You have all the ways that Toni Morgan is this offseason. I think you asked Nell Fortner, she would say it's her leadership that she's improved the most as Ennis splashes down the end one. Younger brother Dylan Ennis, who began his college basketball career at Rice before stops at Villanova and Oregon. Her bigger brother Tyler Ennis, former 18th overall draft pick of the Phoenix Suns back in 2014. Still playing professionally in Italy. Fisher the swat, the offensive rebound, the stick back by Morgan, and one for her.
That was big time follow, and that's the type of rebound that Georgia Tech does. Blackshear has a strong drive, but great defense by Fisher to get that block. And then you just see right there, Toni Morgan right there, get the and one with the offensive rebound and put back.
Well, you can tell that Rice is suffering right now from the absence of Ngulafak, whom we have not seen in the second quarter after she picked up a second personal midway through the first quarter.
Yeah.
Free throws off the mark by Morgan, the defensive rebound by Hayes, who's absorbed a lot of Ngulafak's minutes.
And Hayes has done a solid job stepping in. You know, that's a big player in Ngulafak who's out. And Rice will need her if they want to get a win.
There's a travel on Owens Barnett. 9th turnover of the half against the Owls, especially when you knew that Rice would want to take advantage of Ngulafak without having to joust in the post with Termes. Ariadne Termes, the 6'6 sophomore, out today, unavailable. And so Georgia Tech as a team tops out at 6-1 in Blackshear.
Yeah, they do, but they've done a great job defensively.
That's going to be an offensive foul on Morgan as you saw her extend the off arm.
Yeah, that was a good call right there. Sometimes trying to make it look so quick so the ref doesn't see it, but as soon as, right there in the chest too. You got to call that one, but that's good defense by Owens Barnett. Trying to stay with Toni Morgan and draws that offensive foul.
That might have been closer to the neck than the chest. And I'm wondering if that might come under review.
I don't think it was anything
intentional. A technical
intentional.
foul, I believe, called on Toni Morgan just a moment ago. So not a review, but a technical on Morgan. His first pleading her case to the officials, now pleading her case to Nell Fortner. But that's quick 2 fouls on Toni Morgan.
Yeah, Coach Fortner had to pull her. Tell she's a little upset. Wasn't intentional, yeah, but it was high up on that chest area. You can't extend that arm trying to penetrate.
Seemed like a pretty clear-cut offensive foul against Morgan, but now you have technical free throws for the Owls. And they'll send Victoria Flores to the nail. She's 88.5% at the line this year, 23 of 26. Spent last season at TCU, where she started 6 games, averaging 6.5 points in her debut season for the Owls. And she'll have to settle for 1.
And you see, they're still trying to get Toni Morgan a little calm to explain what happened. But she'll gather herself and be back in this game.
That's where you need that poise as an upperclassman. Your team needs you.
Yeah.
You can't waste a second foul in the first half on a technical, arguing a call. Fisher on the pop out, looking low, instead swings to Alexis. And now Alexis, the reigning AAC Rookie of the Week. The Rockers have passed Noeto. Hayes sledgehammered away, can't connect on the turnaround. Candy Carnegie in for Morgan, trying for a no-look, had it tipped. Leads to a fast break for the Owls. Ennis tracks it down. Noeto is back to stop and pop rims no, and the rebound Carnegie. Well, it might have been better served, just take it to the rack. That's a tough spot in transition.
It's a pull-up, especially when you have no teammates down there to rebound for you. Just try and draw the foul. But Carnegie gets back and gets another rebound for Georgia Tech.
And she turns the corner, threads the needle to Dunn, who muscles it in. Scored and the foul.
And I like it. This is a part of her game that we really have not seen this season. She's a capable passer, Carnegie, and something she was trying to get the assist on the last play, got the turnover, corrects it this time, and makes the nice dish in between 3 Rice defenders to an open Toni Morgan with the lay-in.
I don't know if that was the full no-look, but it was a half no-look. On target to Dunn. Swishes the and one, 35-17 Georgia Tech. It's a 19-6 second quarter edge for the Yellow Jackets. And give Kira Dunn 7 points. You are getting a snapshot in this opening half as to why Georgia Tech is 11-0 on the season, as that 3 is heavy. And tracked down in the corner by Wright, saving it over her head to Noeto.
Big time hustle by the freshman.
Carnegie the stop and pop. Oh, buckled some ankles, but travel called.
She called Carnegie to buckle her own by the travel. I think she was surprised on that move, and she's laughing at herself because she knew she had it, and she missed the opportunity. But coming down, it has Ennis on skates, and instead gets called for the travel. But that would have been a nice play if she was able to.
Boy, can you break
finish.
your own ankles?
You might be able to. Sometimes they just buckle when they're a little loose.
Flores glides behind the screen, whipped around to Ennis. Lob to Hayes, feels out the contact on Blackshear. There's the double, pass was stuffed, recovered by the Owls. Fisher trying to tightrope the baseline, poked away by Noeto, forces the turnover. Inés Noeto, who had a career-high 5 steals against Rice last year, the junior from Spain, is so crafty in on-ball defense. You saw why there.
She is, and she is probably one of the most consistent defenders for this Georgia Tech ball club. I mean, she can get the steals and deflections. I mean, we've seen it all season long. She is the glue for Georgia Tech, I think, defensively.
Yeah, she might be first team ACC all glue. Although she got it done with her scoring last year at Rice, tied a career high with 16 points in that comeback win. Carnegie puts her head down. The runner gets it to fall, and another and one.
Yeah, this freshman, man, she doesn't play like a freshman. And that's what you start to see in the ACC over the last couple of seasons. But just a strong, dominant move and great body control. We talk about Toni Morgan's body control and strength to get the ball over taller defenders. And we see it right there with Carnegie making that move against Ennis to get the and one.
Yeah, Ennis had the swipe down. That'll be a foul every time. Snaps in the rebound off the Carnegie miss. But Georgia Tech, 56% shooting in this first half. And the lead's 20. They're quadding the skeptics with every quarter now across this 11-0 start. Number 17 in the nation. They were named the NCAA's Team of the Week.
Yeah, they were, and it was deserving. I mean, they put on a good showing, and, you know, because they've had big wins against Oregon when they were 21st in the country, and then UNC this past Sunday when they were ranked 14th. That's putting the country, and especially the ACC, on notice.
Carnegie, the step back from the baseline. Around it out, rebound Hayes. Rice on a scoring drought, approaching 2.5 minutes. The stop and pop is no good by Flores. Another defensive rebound for the Yellow Jackets. Carnegie looking low to a flashing Dunn. Tries to slip it down to Blackshear, batted away.
Good job by Hayes.
And did a good job to front that post. Hayes got the seal on Blackshear and draws the foul on Kayla Blackshear, a second on the senior.
Yeah, between Hayes and Ngulafak, those are two post players for Rice. It's tough to get around them if you're defending them. And you see Blackshear working, but Hayes does a good job of sealing and getting her positioning to draw that foul against Blackshear.
Not only Blackshear's second, but Georgia Tech's fifth of the quarter. So Shelby Hayes, the junior from Cedar Park, Texas, will shoot 2 free throws. Just the last half of last season with an injury. And 8 points, 7 rebounds against the Yellow Jackets at Tudor Field House. Rice now just 2 of 4 at the foul line this half.
And you know, when you're down 20, you have to knock down free throws, these chippies, especially when the clock is stopped, to try and cut into this deficit. And right now, Rice just trying to figure something out offensively, and it's been difficult in the second quarter.
There's a swish by Hayes. Rice, however, 2 of 14 from the field in the second quarter. 37-18 Georgia Tech, that led by 16 at the break versus North Carolina. Really stretching out the gap against the Owls here in quarter 2. Wright runs the point. Blackshear off the back screen. Was met on the catch well. Now blitz down the hedge, has to bounce away to Wright. Shot clock at 7. Noedo. The hook pass Smith. Smith having to create over Hayes, in and out.
And Noredo made that difficult for Smith, bringing her defender to her. So Smith was double teamed. That was a difficult shot.
Fisher has struggled in this first half, forces that up and misses everything. Aaliyah Fisher still just 2 points. Now 1 of 4 from the floor. 9-second differential, shot clock to game clock. Dunn in traffic. Worked around to right, lets it fly, can't knock it down. Racing in, trying to keep it alive. It comes down to Hayes. And now the Owls can hold for a final shot.
It's going to be see if they can get something going in their offensive sets as the second quarter is winding down.
Flores rejects the screen. And the jumper doesn't fall in the final seconds. And what was a dominant first 20 minutes by the number 17 Yellow Jackets. A 21 sim.
It's not. They're tested and they're ready and they can get in situations like this and get themselves out of it. So let's see what they can make happen in the second half.
Something Lindsay Edmonds also told us the other day, she's only essentially played 1 game this year with a fully healthy roster. Owls basketball to begin the second half. Adams penned in deep, able to fire away to Owens Barnett. Her pull-up over Morgan. Off the mark, inside position, Blackshear.
And that was a good move by Owens Barnett. Unfortunately, just couldn't get the basketball to fall, but they got to get some dribble penetration in the paint. Force Georgia Tech to play them defensively in the paint.
Morgan slides around the Blackshear screen. Sends it over to Dunn. Gets the burst, splits 2, banks it in, and a foul. By how many and ones has Georgia Tech had in this game? There's another one from Dunn.
And you see Dunn, she got kneed a little bit in that midsection while she was making that move. And Ngulafak right there, that was on her. That's her third. Or
will instead be on Ennis, her second.
I'm sure she's happy about that, but a strong move by Dunn.
Georgia Tech has not been accurate at the foul line, just 3 of 9, but they pull down the offensive rebound. The entry to Blackshear. Blackshear with the right hand, no good. And this time the rebound cleared by Adams. Owens Barnett has missed all 5 of her field goal attempts. A 5-point-a-game score for the Owls. Nice pump fake flyby. The bucket doesn't fall by Ennis. And all Lindsay Edmonds can do in front of us is kind of tilt her head to the sky. I mean, that was well set up, just didn't get the touch.
Right.
Owls 7 of 35, 20%, trying to get some early offense in transition. Slazak down to Ngulafak. ISO'd on Blackshear, passes out. Ennis led Rice with 6 first-half points. Straight but strong on the 3. Tip down to Owens Barnett, and she'll lay it in. That was kept alive, though, by Ngulafak. So making her presence felt on that possession, and Rice gets his first bucket of the second half. Georgia Tech saw a 23-point second-half lead on Sunday shrink to 6 against North Carolina, and I'm sure wary of those lessons.
They don't want to see that again.
Don't need any complacency creeping in. Rebound yanked in by Blackshear on Ngulafak. Flings it up with the left and scores.
And that's big time. I think Ngulafak got hit in the mouth. She's struggling on that play. Probably caught off guard.
Collision there.
They got tied up, just their arms, but seems like.
I think it was on the follow through that scoop shot that Blackshear's elbow may have caught the chin of Ngulafak. They won't review it at least right now, and Georgia Tech leads 41-20. Klazak's pass was sniped. Morgan in transition, laying it off to a cutting Smith. And one.
And that's big time. I mean, just the understanding that Toni Morgan knew she had a trailing Smith coming and knowing her athleticism to get that ball. But just look at his athleticism to get that steal. Rises up and snatches it from Klazak and then throws the lob play like it's some D-Wade run back in the day for the lay-in and the and one. That's big time by the junior guard and Toni Morgan.
Yeah, Toni Morgan was thinking pick six, instead gets the assist. Zoesha Smith misfires on the and one. But Georgia Tech now up to a 23-point lead. That was Smith's first basket of the game. Grad transfer from Brunswick, Georgia. Clipped heels with Fisher, able to bounce away to Owens Barnett. Entry pass tipped by Blackshear. And the steal by Morgan. Rifles it ahead to Dunn. And now an offensive foul underneath on the Yellow Jackets. Somebody shucked away Owens Barnett, and the foul goes on Smith, her second.
And that's good. That's a good job by Owens Barnett to get position and getting back defensively, knowing that Smith was coming. And yeah, that's going to be an easy call. Smith extends that arm, and may have been a little bit of a flop, but good enough to get the ref's attention.
Now, it hasn't been a flawless game for Nell Fortner and the Yellow Jackets despite the lead. That was a 12th turnover. They're also just 3 of 10 at the free throw line. The midi by Haley Adams. Nicely done.
And that's slowly what Rice has to do. Cut into this lead. You're not going to do it in one possession. You just got to take your time and then come back and get after it defensively.
Haley Adams, the redshirt sophomore from San Antonio, 8.9 points per game, had a career-high 20 against Gonzaga earlier this year. Dunn once again gets the blow-by, goes up strong and draws the foul. Georgia Tech, and it's not just Dunn, they utilize their pump fakes really well to set up dribble penetration.
They do, and that's what you should do because it catches your defender off guard or at least makes them flinch. But that's a nice shot right there at the mid-range. And then you see this nice, strong move by Kara Dunn and is able to draw the foul. Like you said, to give that nice head fake, catch your defender off guard so you can blow by them.
Second foul on Malia Fisher as the free throw connects by Dunn. Kara Dunn, a second Yellow Jacket in double figures, the junior with 10. After 13 points in the win at North Carolina. Native of Dallas, Georgia, facing the team from Houston. And the Jackets stretch the lead back to 23. Only Rice lead was 3-2 on the Ennis three-pointer as they extend the perimeter. Ennis clutches. Fisher doubled in the corner, throws through it. Another mid-range jumper by Adams. That's 2 straight.
Right, we're talking about the head fakes. That was a nice pass fake by Adams to catch her defender off guard and get that open J.
AU teammates back in Texas, not only with Jazzy Owens Barnett for the Owls, but Georgia Tech's DeAsia Thomas-Harris. Last year as a technician in the high post herself, she unloads to Carnegie. Carnegie with a jab, throws through the hedge. Great ball rotation. Dunn's three, good. That is some poetry out of the double team, and Kara Dunn knocks it down.
And it's like Georgia Tech's just playing on a string. It was perfect. Carnegie gives the setup to Blackshear. Blackshear makes the right decision and passes to the open Dunn for 3.
As Fisher rifles it off the hands of Ngulafak, but that ball rotation is worth another look.
Yeah, no, it is, and it talks about what Tech's been doing all season long. Right now, 11 assists in this game, but Carnegie sees the double team, makes the nice decision, and then Blackshear has that swing pass to Dunn for the open three.
The word that Nell Fortner used when we caught up with her after shoot-around today to describe her team, and I thought it was very telling, connected. And you're seeing a very connected effort, not only offensively, defensively as well. A blocking foul underneath on the dribble drive from Morgan. Hits the deck awkwardly. The junior shoots 2 free throws once she composes herself. But
like
you know, you can't be 11-0 and number 17 in the country if you're not playing with a lot of chemistry and cohesiveness on both ends.
No, and they've been doing it all season long. I mean, when you think about the upperclassmen that they have, the 2 leaders that they have, and 2 juniors in Morgan and Dunn, and bringing in the group of freshmen they've brought in, I think it's been refreshing for these upperclassmen because day in, day out, they're having to compete against their teammates, and that transcends or goes over into the games to make you want to compete and win.
So you can tell Toni Morgan bumped her head, give her an injury stoppage, and with that, we've hit timeout. 5 ACC and one of 9 undefeated teams nationally. How about Hannah Hidalgo? Ice cubing it nearly with the triple-double versus UConn, and the top 2 scorers in the nation. Both call the ACC home, Hidalgo and Tanaya Latson. And we should note that last year, the only players in the ACC to rank in the top 10 in both points and assists per game, Hannah Hidalgo, Tanaya Latson, Georgia Tech's Toni Morgan, who rattles home the first free throw.
Yeah, no, it's been some incredible talent coming through the ACC. And when you think about it, Hannah Hidalgo, just a sophomore, she is the engine that helps that team run for Notre Dame and has not missed a beat with Olivia Miles joining the fun.
That team is certainly deserving of their lofty ranking, even more so after that UConn win.
Right.
Georgia Tech, is that going to a bit of a matchup zone, Fallon?
Yeah, no, it looks like they have switched it up, and better see that backside, but trying to clog that paint.
And Ngulafag, that is in her wheelhouse. The stick back by Susie Ngulafag.
And that's a good job. Hopefully that can get her going offensively, getting that offensive rebound and a nice putback, getting an easy shot.
A lot of members of her former high school team in Lilburn, Georgia, Parkview High in attendance this afternoon. Offensive foul on the Yellow Jackets, gives it back to Rice as we've hit another timeout. 4:44, third quarter from McCamish. Number 17, Georgia Tech, up big on Rice. And also number 21, Oregon in the Hawaii North Shore Showcase. And it wasn't just the 2 wins, Fallon, over ranked opponents. It was how thoroughly Georgia Tech controlled those games. We'll show you that in a moment. How about leading for almost 69 out of 80 minutes in those 2 games versus their ranked opponents?
Yeah, now that's key, and it's about controlling the pace of a game. When you play against a ranked opponent, that's what you're going to have to do, because both of these teams, when you play against a ranked opponent, you're going to be playing against good quality talent. So,
Feathery touch by Haley Adams over the smaller chit-chat right. That's 6 third quarter points by Haley Adams.
Yeah, Haley Adams has put on a bit of a show, or at least provided Rice with some scoring in this second half.
Now leads the Owls in scoring overall with 8. Carnegie the crossover, the kick. Augustinaite, not that time. After a 5-for-5 first half that included 4 threes from the sophomore, Georgia Tech plucks down the offensive rebound. Backdoor, right, lost it.
She took her eye off of it.
She took a glance at the rim before the ball hit her hands.
She did. She saw how wide open that was, and it was a great job of her following Dunn on that cut, because Rice just forgot about her, and that was a good pass by Blackshear, but Wright unable to control it.
You subscribe to the belief, Fallon, that you can sometimes be too open?
Yeah, sometimes that's happened. That's happened. I've missed some chippies in my playing days from like that.
I was waiting for you to say, well, so I've heard. Never happened to me. Inside of 3.5 minutes, third quarter. Carnegie has that ball on the string. The spin and the pitch. Augustinaite cutting behind the back. Carnegie out to Dunn. Oh, clip that.
You know what? And it's funny. It came up in practice today, or shoot around, about Augustinaite passing, and that's probably the best pass that she's made in her college career. That was a nice one.
You know what? The first half shooting was for the highlight reel. That one was for the mixtape. And a nice answer on the other end by Ennis.
Yeah, Ennis has been pretty consistent in this game for Rice, and trying to steady the calm the storm a little bit with that jump shot.
Let's talk more about Dominique Ennis. 8 points, 4 rebounds, a couple of steals. Carnegie lines up the three, off the mark. And does that take a deflection off the Owls? It does.
And then in traffic, like she was crowded, makes that nice whip behind the back pass to Carnegie. Carnegie sets up Dunn, and they're like, what? We got one.
Look at Nell Fortner's reaction.
I mean, may not be an assist for her in the books, but she assisted with that three.
I don't think anybody will remember the assist from Carnegie, unfortunately, on that possession. Backdoor feed, Carnegie, pump fake, up and in.
And at her size, she uses her body so well. Looks like she may have knocked knees or did something in a little pain after finishing on that shot. But way to split her two defenders to get that ball up.
And Carnegie up to 7 points. Meanwhile, Rice has made 6 of his last 8 from the field. Slowly starting to find their form offensively, and they'll draw a free throw trip from Ngulafak.
Yeah, because she's like, I need to maybe go out.
Yeah, might just landed a little awkwardly.
Take a minute. It's that ankle, though. It may have just tweaked it a little bit.
Smith comes in for her. So does Tiana Thompson, the 5'10 freshman from Mableton, Georgia, making her debut in the game. And Ngulafak, a 58% foul shooter, began her career at Samford, Birmingham, Alabama. Under-recruited due to COVID, according to Lindsay Edmonds, but one of the reasons she was attracted in the transfer portal to Rice was she's pre-med.
Yeah, and that's incredible. You know, what the game of basketball can do for you, and just giving her opportunities to play the game and then also get a great education.
We talked about this with Lindsay Edmonds. How refreshing is it to hear a story where a player decided to transfer to a program because of the strength of a pre-med program? It's not all about the NIL or how many minutes am I going to get.
No,
There's
that's
life after basketball, and that influenced the decision for Susie Ngulafak to stick back by Noeto.
And you got to applaud Smith on that, staying with it, getting deflections or getting a hand on that basketball and enabling Noeto to get that offensive rebound and put back.
And that's Noeto with her first field goal. Right down the boulevard in the layup by Klazak. I'll say this about Rice. They haven't put a dent in this deficit, but they're starting to figure some things out in the half court.
They are. They're starting to score a little bit more than they did in that first half, but, you know, they're starting to get some type of rhythm. It's just too big of a lead for Georgia Tech. You're going to have to stop them defensively if you want to cut into the lead.
Noeto takes the handoff, spots a seam, ropes it out. The three-pointer rattles down. It's not just the threes this quarter, and that one from Chit-Chat Wright. It's the ball movement that sets up those looks.
It is, and they are still sharing the basketball. That has been a winning recipe for Georgia Tech this year. When they're sharing the basketball, I mean, it's just been wins. That's all it's been.
Final minute, third quarter, as Ennis misfires, and Thompson lets that cascade out. Ball to Georgia Tech. Good hustle there by Klazak, trying to get a tap, and helped up by her bench.
And you see Noeto, she has a nice penetration, sees the open right in the corner, and gives it to her just in time to get that shot off.
Chastity Chit-Chat Wright, her second three of the game. Georgia Tech 9 of 18 from deep. Off the hard backdoor cut, another skip. Thompson lines it up. Thompson knocks it down.
And that's big for the freshman. Hadn't gotten a lot of time this season, but is trying to capitalize on the opportunities she gets. Right now, that's 15 or 16 assists on 23 field goals for Georgia Tech.
Nothing has a coach beaming from ear to ear more than a high assist rate, as I have found, Fallon. I don't think you can wipe the smile off Nell Fortner's face with the way her team moved that rock in the third quarter as they tack on 12 more points to that lead.
And said it at the beginning of the season. She challenged her team to work on their three-point shot. If they wanted to get minutes, they were going to have to be able to shoot threes. And this team has done it extremely well to start the season.
They have no shortage of options. They set a school record earlier this season, 15 threes versus Florida A&M. Didn't shoot it particularly well from deep in Chapel Hill, just 6 of 20. Augustinaite has been leading the fusillade with 4 as she inbounds to Noeto. Underway in our fourth quarter. Jackets 63, Owls 32. The third all-time meeting between these programs and second in as many years. Augustinaite. And a rebound down to Adams. He's given the Owls a spark on both ends in this second half. Owens Barnett, catch and shoot three, no good. Rebound reeled in by Smith. Wright has options. Augustinaite. Yes, sir. A fifth three for Augustinaite, one off a career high.
Yeah, you got to find her in transition. You can't let her come and just run into a three-point shot because that's right up her alley.
And now Georgia Tech workshopping its zone here as you look at Augustinaite tying a season high 17 points. Also did that versus Louisiana Monroe in her last home game. Nice finish underneath by Malia Fisher.
Yeah, that was a nice penetration or a nice drive to the basket. She gets past Smith, and Smith just lets her have it.
Augustinaite. Wow! Oh, splash some holy water on Rusne Augustinaite today. A tip of the cap from Ariadne Termes. 6 of 8 from 3 and 20 points as the entry's knifed out of bounds by Smith. Rusne Augustinaite, I'll have what she's having, Fallon Stokes.
Yeah, because it's winning. It's a winning recipe, and she's getting her feet set, letting it fly, and it's just kind of disappointing. She has that being, I believe, her 6th or 7th three in this game, and they're not getting a body of finding her early. You got to find her in transition. Do not let her get an open shot.
New season high for Augustinaite, corrals the defensive rebound.
Yeah, she
Noero's turn. Noero can't connect. Rebound Smith.
Right,
Augustinaite is stepping right into it. Slapped off the glass down to Smith. Smith chasing her own, gets it to fall, and one.
And that's the type of work Coach Fortner talked about Smith brings to this team, you know, coming from Georgia. She's a good rebounder, athletic, doesn't look to score the ball, but puts herself in good positioning with these offensive rebounds to score.
That's what Nell Fortner meant when she told us this morning her team is hungry for the ball. That's why, despite her season-long lament, Fallon, that her team is undersized, they're going to be undersized all season, and yet they lead the ACC in rebounding margin at plus 12.5. And today, despite not having their 6'6" post Ariadne Termes, a starter all season, unavailable today, Yellow Jackets plus 13 on the glass. Another soft touch from the mid-range by Adams. Well, the lost art of the mid-range has been revived this afternoon by Haley Adams. I'm impressed.
She has a nice-looking shot.
Noero slicing in, scooping no. Smith coasting in, trying to keep a tap on it. Down to the Owls instead. Adams is pass batted. The deflection by Noero into the hands of Smith. Thompson exploding to the basket. And the layup by Tiana Thompson. Look at the ovation from her teammates.
And that's big time. You know, the freshman's been working. She's getting some quality minutes. 5 points in this game.
And this is a quality Rice team Georgia Tech is doing this against. Fisher down the baseline.
It is. I mean, this is not a shabby team. And, you know, right now Georgia Tech just putting on a clinic. Most of that from Augustinaite. You know, I think she's trying to break that career high of 30 that she had last season.
Nell Fortner calling timeout. Rusne Augustinaite is saying, you know I'm hot right now. I don't want to disrupt my rhythm. 74-38. Jackets in the fourth. Georgia Tech is 7:06 away from moving to 12-0. They haven't had to carry the offense nearly the way they did last year.
Yeah, it's balanced scoring, and you see Augustinaite, she's coming off the bench dropping 20 this afternoon, and that's a big asset to have in your arsenal if you're Nell Fortner between Carnegie and Augustinaite. But Tech just always puts on a show with their balanced scoring, and sharing the basketball has just been so key for this squad this season.
Well, Georgia Tech's leading scorer on the year, Danny Carnegie, has done that all off the bench. It was a tie-up, at least I thought, between Grooms and Fisher. Will be a jump ball. The arrow gives it to Rice. Good hustle by Malia Fisher. It was third team All-American Athletic last season, preseason first team. And she'll come to the bench. I don't know if she caught a stray there, fighting for that loose ball. Did not debut until earlier this month because of a hand injury she suffered in the preseason. Off the lob, and Gulafat.
Yeah, and Gulafat, that was nice positioning to get that lob pass and the lay-in. Nothing much that Smith could do on that one.
Susie and Gulafak, 6 points. The assist was from Adams. I know Malia Fisher, Susie, and Gulafak had hoped for a better account of themselves in their homecoming, both Metro Atlanta natives, but they will certainly be heard from come conference play for Lindsay Edmonds and the Owls.
Right. This is going to, give them that drive. They're going to have a long time to think about this game as they prepare for South Florida in their conference opener, but this is going to get them ready.
Adams has shown her touch, shooting from the mid-range, showing her passing touch there.
And you see that size that Gulafak brings to this team. Really gives them a post presence. Is pretty nimble for her size and has great hands. So I'm sure that's going to carry over into conference play this season for Rice.
He was a beast for Lindsay Edmonds in the AAC championship game. 15 points, 11 rebounds, and that upset over ECU. Punched the Owls' ticket to the dance. One blemish for the Yellow Jackets today has been at the free throw line. 9 of 17 following that make from Thompson. 75-40 Georgia Tech. They also came in, Fallon, 23rd nationally in scoring margin across this 11-0 start. They rise up that category even more after today. And Gulafak could never get into the flow of the game after that second foul midway through the first quarter. Pull up off the side of the backboard on the jumper by Owens Barnett. Grooms with a look away. Augustinaite, watch out. There's the three. It's a 7 for Augustinaite. And a timeout for Rice. A new career high from downtown. It has been a barrage inside McCamish for Augustinaite. She's got 23.
Yeah, Augustinaite has been hot from behind the arc. That's to say the least. 7 of 10, and that stroke, I still don't understand why she is not located early in transition, but she's doing the right thing, finding her spots, and her teammates are finding her early to get her good looks and nice threes.
Now, Fortner may be the first to tell you, Rusne Augustinaite can be streaky. But
when she's
she is streaking the right way this afternoon.
She's a huge asset to have, and what a perfect commodity to have coming off of your bench, when you need scoring. We talked about the bench points for Georgia Tech this season. It's been pretty tremendous. I mean, as a team, they're averaging around 38 bench points a game.
Remember, she started 17 games as a freshman last year. Somebody who had a lot of meaningful minutes last year that Nell Fortner can call upon off the bench. As Georgia Tech throws away the outlet pass, ball back to Rice. Now Fortner, who began her coaching career in the state of Texas, as the head coach of Killeen High School. In Killeen, Texas, the steal Smith, soar into the rack, and the fast break bucket by Smith.
Yeah, Smith just brings a new aspect to this team defensively. A very quick, athletic forward.
And there's another steal, that one from Thompson, and the foul on the Owls.
Yeah, Tech is just hungry to play defense, and again, it's transcending this afternoon. The defense, their defensive performance this afternoon is a big reason why they have the lead, and they're looking like they're about to pick up their 12th win of the season.
Flores will sub in for Owens Barnett. That foul was on Owens Barnett, or Gooden rather, her fourth. Augustinaite inbound, something to consider. She's 7 of 10 from 3, the school record for most threes in a game, 8. Danielle Donahue did it twice. Sydney Wallace did it as well in 2012.
I remember watching Danielle Donahue do it. She could shoot it. She was a sniper back in the day.
Smith fakes the handoff down the lane, follows her miss, banks it up and in. Sometimes that's Zoe Smith's best offense is cleaning up misses, either her own or a teammate's.
It is, and you see how she keeps that basketball high, able to get that shot right back off the glass. Nice touch and a nice finish.
You talk about gifted rebounders for their size. They're often really quick on the second jump, and I think that's the profile of Zoe Smith.
Right.
She began her career at the University of Georgia. The sidestep three is down the well by Flores.
Yeah, Flores trying to get something going. That top of the key three is tough.
Smith gathering beneath the basket off the feed from Wright. Now can't celebrate that three too quickly, or else it's a layup in transition for Smith.
Yeah, got to get back.
And Zoe Smith now has a double-double. That's 11 points, 10 rebounds for Smith, her first double-double of the season.
I mean, coming into this game, the last 5, we said she's been getting after it with the rebounds. Her scorer was picking up, and today she's showing up with a double-double.
She'd been flirting with that double-double, and today the double-double finally said yes. Grooms with a foot on the line. Chased down by Smith. Wings it over her head, and off the tap comes down Smith. Zoe Smith also had a double-double 2 years ago at McCamish, but it was for Georgia against the Yellow Jackets. A nice flip with the left hand by Haley Adams, a team high 12 now for the redshirt sophomore. Jackets still shooting above 50%, 51.7.
Pass.
And it was jostled loose by Flores. Leading the break. Ennis short on the three. Follows her own. Flicks it up and scores. Good job by Dominique Ennis.
Yeah, you can get rewarded when you follow your shot. That's what Ennis did, right? Didn't put her body on her, trying to get back or break out offensively.
They really missed her last year during their run through the AAC tournament, the NCAA tournament. Timeout, Nell Fortner with 3:05 to play, 84-47, Georgia Tech. As the Yellow Jackets will empty out their bench. They take care of business here today after the win at number 14 North Carolina on Sunday. I'm sure Nell Fortner pleased with their team's attention to detail.
Right.
Not letting that win over North Carolina cause any complacency as they returned home. They better not have any complacency because they got another ranked showdown at McCamish on Saturday as they tip off at 5:30 with number 23 Nebraska.
Yeah, that should be big, and another opportunity for them to, compete, but also improve their record and improve their net ranking. Right now, Georgia Tech has a 16 net ranking, and they've played against some big teams non-conference, and it's just preparing them for what's to come in the ACC, because it's going to start back up on the 29th against Pitt.
Yeah, I know Syracuse and Virginia Tech, not quite the teams they were last year. They lost some
big talent,
high-volume scores, but Louisville always a threat.
Yeah.
In the Derby City. Here's Noeto on the pop-out. The spot up three is heavy. Georgia Tech 9 of 18 from three, make it a 13 of 26 now, but still 50%. The foul was on Thompson. Nell Fortner would be the first to tell us that how they performed in Chapel Hill on Sunday promised them nothing today, but there was no flatness in the follow-up after that win over the Tar Heels.
Right. I think she just had some concern, with Termin's out of the lineup, that size, and what, Rice was going to bring with their post presence this afternoon. But Georgia Tech's been clicking on all cylinders. You got to applaud Blackshear being able to step into the starting lineup and have to defend Agulifac a few times in the paint. And Georgia Tech has done a solid job this afternoon against her.
6'6" and 6'2" in your picture and in street clothes on the Georgia Tech bench. Termis and Thomas Harris inside position. Augustinaite. Georgia Tech, in spite of missing those low post players, are now plus 17 on the boards. DeWitt still one in that three. Can't get it. But you know what? You don't have to be the tallest team in the league to dominate on the glass. So much of it is about hustle, it's about positioning, and it's about will. As that three falls from Tweehouse, just the third three of the game for the Owls.
Good hustle.
And they get the turnover off the inbound, but a limb was on the line. It'll stay with Georgia Tech.
And you got to applaud Rice. They're down 34, but still hustling, and that was a nice pass out. Nice corner three as well for Rice. And, you just see they're still trying to compete. Even though they have this huge deficit and it's looking like it's a victory for Georgia Tech, that's the key you want to see. They still put up a fight.
Now 11 days to rest and reset before they dive into conference play against the preseason American favorites in USF.
No more finals.
Yeah.
Everything's finally over where you could just really take a break and just focus on basketball and getting prepared for conference play.
Well, you navigate your schedule during finals. Feels like you're playing with ankle weights. The backdoor feed in the reverse by Thompson. Oh, that was like skipping a rock across a pond by Noredo.
Yeah, that was nice. And Noredo, she can dish it with the best of them. When you talk about Toni Morgan getting those assists, Noredo is not too shabby herself.
Tweehouse off the skip. Backs down on Augustinaite. Boxed in, bounces down. The jumper by Clifton doesn't get the roll, but she draws the foul. We need to see another look at this.
Let me see this. Woof. Perfect pass and a nice reverse. Look at Tiana Thompson getting on the board, but you just see the timing of it. Narado knew it as soon as she let it go. And good hustle, nice backdoor cut by the freshman for the reverse lay-in.
Well, with a pass as clean as that, as your freshman,
you
better make the
it.
catch,
Right.
and you better not smoke that layup. You've hold up here. There's been some blood drawn by Victoria Flores down at the bottom of your screen. Flores will be a good one for the Owls. Former consensus 4-star player out of West Dallas, Texas, was a top 81 player nationally when she signed with TCU. This will be another runaway victory for number 17 Georgia Tech, will extend its school record best start. Narado knocked down 14th three of the game for the Jackets.
I think that's the storyline of this game, the defense and the three-point shooting for Georgia Tech.
And the ball rotation has just been exquisite for the Yellow Jackets. 22 assists as well. The fadeaway by Fisher is good. Aaliyah Fisher with the last basket in her homecoming.
Ooh.
What do we have here? Shoe come off? Just get chucked. Yeah, that's Clifton, I think. Out defending on Narado with one shoe. A deep three by Grooms. An air ball. Narado the rebound. Shot clock did reset, and it shouldn't have, so we'll have a stoppage here with 29.8 to go. Boy, that shoe was coming in hot to us.
It was coming in hot. She's like,
The Edmonds says, yeah, this I believe belongs to you.
Right, don't want to get a concussion from a shoe.
With the colorway of the shoes, though, you knew that you would miss it. Yeah,
right, it was coming.
It was coming in hot.
If it was those black sneakers that Tony Morgan had on today, I was like, I don't think we would have seen it.
Only 8 seconds to shoot. Augustinaite one from the school record. No good. Offensive rebound, Grooms. Grooms gets smothered by Fisher. And a foul called on the Jackets. Well, that last pull from Augustinaite, she had history in her sights. One off the school record for threes in a game. Still makes her 7 of 11.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's been an impressive afternoon for Augustinaite. She had the hot hand, continued to shoot it, and, is rewarded by her teammates looking for her as she was in transition, setting herself up for some open threes, and she was just consistent all afternoon.
Doesn't look like she'll get an attempt at an eighth. Tweehouse drains it. 5 seconds to go. Tweehouse with a second late three. And Georgia Tech can dribble out the clock. Georgia Tech taking care of business this afternoon. Number 17 and undefeated still